Hello and welcome back to Troy Park in Elk Ridge, Maryland. It's been a lengthy delay, but we are back here for the remainder of Game 2 between the Boston Forge and the Austin Outlaws. I'm Ethan Sturm alongside Teddy Costa. Just a bit of an update. Along with the 2.5-hour delay, we had some other things take place in this game over the past 2 hours. Austin did appeal the play that happened right before the stoppage where Andrew Axtell was assessed a blue card for delay of game. The appeal was upheld. So because of that, Axtell's blue card was wiped off the record, as was the goal Boston scored because of it, as was Seta Morimoto's blue card for the goal that he scored after it. Tough to say, everything's going to be the same, except Boston's going to be down 1 goal, and a couple of blue cards have been stricken from the record. It's now a 4-1 Boston lead, but that's not to take away from the fact that that early part of this game was all Boston.
It was all Boston to start for sure, and you can hear the crowd here has not lost any juice after the delay. You love to see it. We got the lights on, and there's some electricity in the crowd. We'll see how this lengthy delay affects both teams' momentum as they try to come out of this break to turn the tide in their direction.
Yeah, I don't think the rest per se helps either team. Each of these teams only played about a game and change, plus they both run very deep in their depth chart.
Yeah.
But, it might be a chance for Austin to regroup. They tried some new things in Game 2, some new alignments. Jackson Johnson and Bailey Fields getting the start. They didn't necessarily work. It was a 3-0 start again for Boston. So now they got to go into the tank as though this was another game and see what they can do to try to turn the tide here and force Game 3.
Yeah, I'd say, the stop probably hurts the team that's ahead momentum-wise. It helps the team that in a way, just took the longest timeout in MLQ history. So they took the timeout that went right into the lightning break. But at the same time, it's like the old college basketball. Do you call a timeout at the end of the second half and risk letting the other team get set up too? I'm sure Boston was, had their coaches very active and was looking into ways to adjust their game as well. So both of these teams very heady. A long history of playing each other on this hallowed weekend, and we'll see who's able to win the chess game from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. So the way we come back from a rain delay is with both teams just starting in their keeper zone and the balls back in the exact way the balls were the last time we stopped play. Our referees had written it all down before we went into that lightning delay.
Yeah, not the easiest. We got a lot of balls to keep track of in this sport, but I think we've developed a pretty efficient system at getting everything restarted properly. And as I've mentioned to basically anybody that I talk about, the last time that Boston and Austin played at this location, they had a lengthy rain delay. I don't remember it being as lengthy, but I was not in the booth. I was playing for that, so maybe the focus changes how long things were, but
either way, that rain delay kind of got legs. Suddenly it was 2.5 hours. I didn't know where the time had gone.
Yeah, time flies when you're spending it amongst friends, and that's what this is all about.
For sure. Seems like a couple last equipment things getting settled out. Unlikely the weather's going to affect the game here. It hasn't rained at least for, I'd say, an hour and a half at this point. And it's honestly a very nice night here in Troy Park now.
Yep. Yeah, the humidity has broken. The turf might be a little slick, but I'd expect the balls to dry off reasonably well. And you know what they say, both teams play in the weather, so it's gonna affect whatever effect it does have. It's gonna affect both teams, and it's still gonna be decided by whoever plays the best, makes the best adjustments, and executes the best during winning time.
I don't know how both head coaches have ended up on the pitch before we've even resumed play, but that does seem to be the case. Harry Greenhouse and Jackson Johnson continuing to have words with head ref Chris Lecomte as we get ready to get started.
Yeah, both well-coached sides, both very experienced coaches, very different styles, I will say, but both always looking to make sure that they get everything they possibly can for their team, even if that's just information. Even if it's just being aware of the situation so that they can adjust better.
All right, we'll get settled down, ready to go. I guess you've technically played under both of them as coaches. Jackson having coached Team USA while you were there, and then obviously Harry in a prior stint as head coach of Forge.
Yep. Yeah, different styles, both effective. When you know what you're talking about and you can relate to players, players listen.
And we are back live here in game 2 of our quarterfinal between Austin and Boston. Boston is going to stick in that hoop zone that they broke out early in game 2. Carson Olazaba at the point, and Luis Sanchez is going to be bringing the ball down behind, I believe that's Kaiser Polzin. Ball goes back behind. Adams Tracy has it, gets all the way up to Sanchez. Max Havlin and Louis Shu are able to come out of that with 2 dodgeballs. A long shot is tipped off. It is going to be Tammy Garza who gets it. Bobbled there by Adams Tracy. She kicks it back towards Sanchez, but kicks it past the line. Austin's going to try to get some extra steps here because they know it's going to be a problem that Carson Olazaba is about to take possession of this ball with not much in front of him.
Yeah, good patience there from the Boston side, creating a turnover, looking to capitalize on it as Austin was scrambling a little bit.
Max Havlin looking to cut off. Oh, it's a bobble there from Doyle. You know, as we said, the weather might not be a factor. We've had like 3 drop passes already here. Mayer's going to settle it in now. She tries that two-handed shot and gets lit up there by Sanchez. Is able to get it off to Doyle, but an easy beat there. And it's a nice stop from Austin. Peter Lawrence trying to pick it up, had to beat it right next to him, and just handed it right off to Sanchez.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's tough to do anything when the ball hits the ground. That's an obvious situation where a fast break turns into nothing. But even as you watch regular possessions, like the difference between a connected pass or a pass that has to bounce, can sometimes be the difference in timing that makes or breaks possessions.
Kite has just walked the ball through the entire defensive zone before finally just running into a Louis Shu beat. She does get the ball off to Sammy Garza. Polson's trying to keep Louis Shu isolated. Havlin's able to blow up the play, but at the cost of a no dodgeball situation. And now there's going to be a call, I think, in the beater game.
Yeah, we'll see how this one gets sorted out. Boston obviously content to stay home, basically. We saw a lot of 2-2 from them in game 1, what feels like forever ago. Obviously sticking with the 3 trees right now, looking to switch things up, make sure they don't get overextended. And you can understand it a little bit with the scoring situation here, right? Like, make Austin come to you, make Austin be creative. And if you're on Austin's side, like, I like that Melkite just took her space and forced an interaction with the beater to try to open something up. We'll see if Austin's able to do more of that, drag the zone out of place, and capitalize.
The tricky thing about a hoop zone when your beaters are Max Havlin and Louis Shu is Max Havlin and Louis Shu don't like to sit under their hoops with a hoop zone.
Yeah.
And sometimes they almost get overexerted because they don't have any support on their pressure from the quadball players just by design of what a hoop zone is.
Yes. Yeah. It's a little bit of using the wrong tool for the right job type of thing, where it's like, you know, you could use a hammer to fix a lot of things, but sometimes a screwdriver is easier. So we'll see how Havlin and Zhu interact here with this more conservative defense that Boston is rolling out. What I do like from Boston is we've seen them break out several different defenses all year, and Coach Greenhouse and company clearly willing to continue to do that. So it's like
Carson Olazaba and Melkite both ended up in the penalty box. I honestly cannot tell you what for. Given that that the dodgeballs did turn over to Boston, I assume that a swat was the call on Kite. I'm not sure what the call was on Olazaba, but we are playing 5-on-5 right now. Garza in a very dangerous position, but does have Havlin in front of him as well as Doyle. Doyle, a great shot blocker, one of the best in the sport. Garza goes high, goes too high, just gets the ball back to Sanchez. Smart play there. They're going to reset the offense. It's right now kind of a triangle from Boston with Peter Lawrence playing point and Mayer and Doyle around the hoops.
Now's a great test to see how well prepared you are situationally, right? You're trying to play a certain zone, but it's going to be all your rotations are different because you're missing a player.
Yeah, Sanchez got a pretty good shot attempt there. Can't get it to go, and then Adams Tracy bobbles another pass. It's going to be a turnover to Boston. Was the blue card there for Melkite? She has served her time. It does seem like Olazaba must have been a legal contact or something because he will be serving a full minute. Havlin and Shu with control after that SWAT call. Lawrence, a lot of space up top to work with against the hoop zone of Austin. Dude beats out a player. Polson tries to make a play for control, doesn't get it. It's a no dodgeball situation. Lawrence gets stuffed at the hoops there by Garza. Pile up on the ground. Sanchez gets there first.
Great play by Garza. Play kind of coy almost, right? Obviously, the fundamentals are keep your hands up. Garza kind of with his hands that looked like in his pockets a little bit, but was almost baiting the throw in the middle hoop and was able to get up in time. Great play.
Sanchez walking it down. We haven't had a goal since we came back from the timeout. Like you said, all the momentum really stripped from this series by the 2.5-hour delay. Sanchez in the lane, pitches it off to Kite. Kite goes deep to Garza.
And I think right now Austin does not mind the pace of this game coming to a halt a little bit here. We'll see if Boston's able to generate something they can run off of.
Kite throws it to nobody in particular that time. Free turnover. Boston looking to bring it the other way. Close to Olazaba. Let's see if Boston tries to run. That's where they've had so much success early in the series, but it ends up being just a Carson Olazaba subbing out. I think largely a full line switch here, sending Morimoto into the game as well, and Ian Skura, who was heating up with 2 goals in game 2 here before the delay. Ball's going to go up to Skura. Skura's got a lane. Gets it right to Morimoto. A really nice beat there by Polzin for a good big stop for Austin.
Yeah, good anticipation by Polzin. Kind of played the will they or won't they with Skura trying to read in the middle of the defense and reacted very well to Skura's pass, almost seeing it before it happened to go make a play.
Havlin and Shu taking on Johnson and Fields here in the beater game. Second time we've seen that matchup in this one.
Boston back in the 2-2. Wonder if they'll look to pressure the ball.
Jackson Johnson, though, wins an exchange, and it allows Gardner to hit the lane, find Melkite. Melkite finishes through traffic. First goal delay. It's now 4-2. Boston wants to get out and run. Dodgeballs are on the ground everywhere. Morimoto is ahead of steam. Morimoto flips it to no one in particular. Kite has it. Kite's looking to run. Kite flips it off. A beautiful body control by Gardner. Gets it back to Kite. Kite finishes. Just like that, Austin's got 2. It's a 1-goal game.
Fantastic execution in the fast break opportunity right there. Really well done by Austin. Move the ball 1 step early rather than 1 step late. You get an easy goal with no contact there.
Boston's got all the dodgeballs on the ground again. It's Emily Frollo hitting the lane, using a screen from Emily Hickmott and scoring. Well taken there by Frollo, but there's going to be a stop call on the play. I think Hickmott is going to get a card for contact from behind on her hoop screen, which is going to disallow the goal. Still 4-3.
Tough break there for Boston.
Yeah.
A good read, good idea, good creativity, and almost very good execution. Good execution from Frollo on that side, but got to make sure the screens are from the front.
And this game is swinging in a hurry. This series felt on the verge of over when that lightning delay came in.
It did, and these things have a way of being kind of funny that way. But we'll see who can respond better here. A couple of mental mistakes recently from Boston have shifted this game after the lightning delay.
Garza gets the ball over to Sanchez. Sanchez in the lane, slows it down. Back to Garza. Havlin is beat. Sanchez hits the lane. Did it go? I think it might have. And if it did, we have a tie game.
It looked to me like it went through on the way down, and we might be level here and starting all over in a historic rivalry.
Yeah. And my question is, when are we going to see Kieran Collier and Leanne Dillman again? They've been so dominant this whole series. This has been a very long Havlin and Shu shift.
And it's interesting, right? Because Havlin and Shu have been sitting on control and opening opportunities, and the chasing squad from Boston has really let them down with drop passes, bad decision making, leaving the ball out to nobody, taking cards they don't need to take. So it's kind of tough if you're the Boston coaching staff. You're like, well, do I change this? This part of it doesn't seem broken. But either way, Austin is firing on all cylinders right now. They seem really well connected. They seem focused, taking care of the little things, and executing when it matters.
Right. But, Jackson Johnson and Bailey Fields have always had a talent for making Max Havlin and Lou Shu play a lot of dodgeball. And yes, they've created no dodgeball situations, but they also haven't played a lot of defense. Now it's another no dodgeball situation. Skura has to make this one count. Fakes 3 times, completes his hat trick in this game, and it's 5-4 Boston lead.
Good job by Garza to delay the decision there until Skura almost closed his own distance. Better job by Skura to make the one last read he needed to make and get the finish at the hoops.
And we do see a beater sub, but it's still not Dillman and Collier. It's going to be DeMuth and McCready subbing into this game.
Very interesting. I wonder if Greenhouse is going to go into that energy line and maybe go with Dillman and Collier to kind of carry between that line and then the first line as they cycle back through. We'll have to see.
Garza bringing the ball down the side. Axel now checked back into the game. He's trying to get around Frollo, but nothing to be seen yet. Tom DeMuth just got beat in the face there by Jackson Johnson, legally, to be clear. McCready beat now as well. No dodgeballs. Axel looking to drive. Axel goes around Morimo. Axel, I do not think that first goal went. The second one did.
Axel certainly didn't think the first one went because he picked up the second one and put it back through.
I'm pretty sure everything that Axel did was throw it down the front of that hoop. But again, it doesn't matter because he did not give up on the play and finish.
Yep, and that's exactly, if you're a young player, that's exactly what you want to look for. The crowd doesn't like the good goal call, but if you consider just how none of the players on the field stopped, ball don't lie. The second one went through. If you want to complete the stop, you got to get a rebound in that situation.
Yep. And obviously credit to Axel there, but also Jackson Johnson and Bailey Fields absolutely blew up that play and took McCready and DeMuth completely out of it.
Yep. And now we'll see if this third line beating pair from Boston is able to wrestle control from them, or if we're about to see this game shift.
Tie game here at 5. Skurs the ball all the way behind. Tries a shot, but Axel's just in the way. Axel looking to run. DeMuth has dodgeballs on the ground. No dodgeballs. Axel to Garza. Garza, goal. Austin has its first lead here in Game 2. They lead 6-5. It is a 5-1 run since we came back from the lightning delay.
How about that for the world's longest timeout? Austin coming out absolutely focused and poised, and they're going to break out a press.
And this is so dangerous. This is Jackson Johnson, Bailey Fields controlling every inch of a pitch. There is no Boston dodgeball within 50 yards of their hoops. Axel gets over to Garza. Garza zips it back to Axel. Axel fakes once, fakes twice. Gets it to Garza. That is a goal. This game is getting away from Boston. They cannot get it under control.
And Collier is subbed in at this point. Boston's going to call a timeout here, and they need one.
And it's hard not to question some of the decisions made there in the depth charts and the subs. The very long Haviland and Shu shift, and then not turning that into a Kieran Collier and Leanne Dillman shift immediately after.
And credit to Austin. They're executing in every phase of the game right now, playing very connected quad ball. Here's where you really see what your coaching staff and what your team are made of. You kind of dug yourself a hole. You created adversity for yourself. You went from feeling good flying high to now needing to dig out of a hole. Can you come out of this timeout playing the way that you need to, which is really just the way you were for the first part of this game, right? Connect your passes, don't drop the ball, and play with your beaters. That's all it is. They're kind of just throwing the ball away right now. And it's come back to bite them, and Austin has made them pay.
Yeah, I mean, Austin's been brutal in transition. The Garza-Axel combination has just been deadly on those plays. The physicality mixed with just really clean passing. I mean, that last one wasn't physicality. It was Garza just getting out in front and then seeing he didn't have the opportunity, just getting it right back to Axel. And everything's going right for them. And Boston, like you said, is throwing away some possessions. That Ian Skura one from a couple possessions ago was not very clean. They're going to need to try to clean it up here to get back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a tale of execution right now. And when you think about the game plan that both of these teams and most teams in general, but especially the way these two are constructed, would like to play, would be to play solid, fundamental team defense, physical where you have to be, active hands where you can be, and get out and run, right? So either of these teams can be effective in the half court. Boston's shown a little bit more success this season than Austin. So it's about controlling the pace in the way of you want to run when you want to run. And for both of these teams, that's off of live ball turnovers generated from stout team defense. And Austin has definitely been able to do that so far since coming back here in Game 2, whereas before the lightning delay, it was all Boston doing that in Game 1.
Yep, so there it is. It's that energy line you talked about, the young line of college players, along with Collier and Dillman, and immediately Collier makes a play. All dodgeballs are on the ground. Dillman's in the lane. Cyber takes it through immediately. But now Taylor Tracy's creating no dodgeball situation. Can anybody step up and make the hit? Dillon's always going to have to do it. Sanchez gets it over in the direction of Ella Jordan. She's chased by Sam Megner. Garza's going to have it. Goes around. Really cleanly found, and a nice goal there.
Well done by Austin to respond, take advantage of the scramble situation on the Boston side. Boston Beaters looked like they generated control for a second as the team is potentially going to get pressed here.
Yeah, and that was Jenna Adams Tracy with the goal. Megner in the lane. Megner, nobody's stepping up. Megner knocks down the shot. How about that? The okie doke near half from Magner, not backing down from the moment at all. And the energy line is, doing their name right now, providing some energy. But it still is that dodgeball control that's staying on the Austin side, and they keep exerting offense from it. Sanchez and Jay Stewart are now in the game. Sanchez is going to walk into the zone. Steinberg trying to match. Steinberg is at Stewart's number every time. Alan Jordan can't get that shot to go. And Taylor Tracy didn't notice and wasn't able to stop it. Obviously a little tricky to do as a beater, but it's going to be an over and back and another turnover. Boston starting to get a foothold now in this game. We'll see if they're able to score in the half court here without control. This third line from Boston in the chasing game has really been a steadying force each of these first two games, which I did not have on my bingo card coming into this. They've been a nice story so far in the regular season, but they are playing absolutely massive minutes here in the quarterfinals late on a Saturday night at MLQ Championship. Magner, unfortunately, must have picked up a knock or maybe had a little blood on her or something, subbed out of this game. Athena Mayer stepping in. I doubt it was a strategic substitution from the coaching staff, given how well this line is playing. I was going to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Magner's going off right now, so it's nice to have Athena Mayer to put in that situation. That just speaks to the depth of both of these teams. And we're going to get started again. It's a 1-goal lead for Austin. We are about 17 and a half minutes into this one. And as we get towards flag runner on pitch, I wonder if we'll see the way the beating game has been played change out a little bit, because a flagpole could be enormous in this game. Steinberg has the ball on the wing. Does get pressured out there by, I think it's Polson. No, sorry, that was Tracy. Mayer has it on the near side. Oh, and going to walk right into that beat. It is going to be dodgeball control. Collier and Diltman do get it at the cost of a stop for Austin. But given how important it's been in this series, I think it might be a worthwhile trade. Yeah, and one that if you can make it well on offense instead of having to do it on defense, as these two teams often have to do for each other, certainly Boston will take it. Obviously, you want the goals, but it's going to be massive as you get to the 20-minute mark. Patience here from Austin as we inch towards that mark. Their season on the line. Boston will have another chance no matter the result here. Collier gets beat there. I like just clearing out Jay Stewart on the wing. It looks like Boston might try to trap here in a second, but nobody gets Luis Sanchez, so it's a deep pass to him. That's the thing about the trees, is it's so hard to trap out of. Yep. You can press high and you can attack behind hoops, but it's so hard to get two to a corner to really squeeze possession. Yep. Shea Stewart's going to try his luck on Andrew Steinberg again. I think Andrew Steinberg knows Shea Stewart is going right every time, and he shuts the door every time. How about that? And great play from the Boston Beaters as well to allow the Chasers to be patient and get the stop when they needed to win their individual matchups. Mayer takes the ball here, trying to tie the game up before 20 minutes. It's a warning for stalling on Boston. Dylan gets it across. Behind, taken by, I believe it was Ana Luisa there. I think they're going to have to talk about it. Goal was no good. It was a good take there. And it's going to be a legal set, obviously, as the ball went back across half field. A good attempt, though. No issue with the attempt. A much better look than the last Boston possession, which was when they tried to gain control, basically, and were very reactive to the Austin defense. That time you're seeing creation and an opportunity on an open hoop.
But Austin controlling the pace for the most part the way that they want to. We'll see if Dillman and Collier are able to kind of change things up and pressure without overextending the way that they were on that last possession out of the three trees.
So there were about 4 seconds left before the 20 minutes when they restarted play. So now we are at the break. This will be the last possession. Austin has a chance to take a 2-goal lead into it. That would be huge.
That would be huge, especially because if you're the Boston Beaters, you are doing whatever you can to not give away control right now. If you're the Austin offense, you are trying to take advantage of that. Make them throw at you as much as you can.
Sanchez looking to work on Steinberg. Gets it back to Stewart. And out to Sanchez. Beaters left the play. It's a no dodgeball situation, at least briefly. Landman now has one. Collier, it's going to be a press opportunity now. Jay Stewart's beat out of the play. But again, the same thing you said, tricky to press out of a hoop zone.
Yeah. And Boston, the last thing that they want, let's say they get a stop, but they press and they leave themselves in a bad spot with the dodgeballs ahead of flag runner on pitch. They gave up a lot of looks to John Alvarez in game one. They don't want to live that dangerously again.
A nice beat on a side hoop. Luis Sanchez hits the lane, makes the shot, and it is a 9-7 lead for Austin here in game two as they look to force a game three.
We got ourselves a fun one lined up here after the intermission. Austin really doing a great job of executing, getting back to something I haven't really seen them play like this all season in the way that they are connected between their beaters and chasers. Something about that lightning strike has steadied them, has reminded them we are the Austin Outlaws, we are the defending champs, and we are not afraid of anybody.
Yeah, you know, we started seeing it in the first game, right? A couple of stretches of play where we said, oh, that's kind of the old school Austin Outlaws there. And I think we see more of it here. Really, that last possession was so long and so patient until they got the perfect opportunity. That's what you would expect Austins of old to do. And that's kind of what's gotten them back into these games.
Yeah, it was so well connected, right? Like I've kind of harped on this forum and others about I feel like there's been a lack of creativity from Austin offensively in the half court. It wasn't there. The passes had a purpose. We were moving the zone. We were forcing the defense to be reactive, and then the timing was fantastic with the beat on the medium-sized hoop for an open shot. Very, very well done, and we'll see how this changes as I expect all of the dodgeballs to head over to the flag runner, which leaves the door open. Who can execute better? Who's keeping the ball off the ground? And who's being the more physical team getting to the 50-50 balls? If Austin's able to do that, at least with parity, they're in a really good position to win this game and force the first game three that we've seen between these two teams ever in the history of the league. If Boston's able to do it, they have a good chance to climb out of the hole, even if they don't pull a flag.
And Boston is calling Havlin and Chu's number for the flag runner on pitch period. This is going to be their third shift of the game. Of course, one of those shifts coming 2.5 hours ago. But and we'll see if it's matched by Jackson Johnson, Bailey Fields. Fields has played huge minutes in this game, way more so than Jackson has. She's played with a variety of partners, and that stabilizing force has been seen in the way this team's had a lot more dodgeball control, been a lot more competitive in a lot of these exchanges.
And the Boston coaching staff has been around this series for so long. They know the impact that Bailey Fields makes on a game. It's not just winning possessions. It's controlling the field. It's manipulating the defense. It's thinking in 3D chess mode, like you said, making other beaters do things that they don't even realize are wrong, making them play dodgeball instead of quad ball. Obviously had a massive impact on this game.
And a small thing, maybe one worth noting, Boston showed up to the field today a lot earlier than Austin did. And, you know, you talk about how long this day has been with the delays and everything, and you kind of wonder if maybe, you know, the legs and the minds are a little fresher on this Austin side.
That would be interesting. Of course, I stayed mostly in the nice dry press box. I wasn't down amongst the players, so you don't know.
Teddy also didn't say air conditioned, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice in here. Shout out to Visit Howard County and the facilities that we have going on right now. But so I don't know how both teams took their break. I don't know the level of focus because you can't stay game locked in for 2.5 hours. But can you still have the right mindset and come out ready to execute, or are you losing your opportunity to really stay locked in?
Same starting seekers as in game 1. Will Richardson for Boston and John Alvarez for Austin. It was Eli Fighter who caught in that game.
We have a new flag runner for this game compared to game 1 as well.
Yep.
So the matchup's going to change. We'll see how both seekers are able to shoot their shot, so to speak, in this situation.
And, Boston has that very physical line that they put out there. And, a series where historically I would say that Austin has been the more physical team. Hard to say that in the way that Boston runs this flag runner and pitch unit. We'll see if they can perform once again.
Yeah, they'll definitely be testing Austin, making them show some physicality. Austin at least has Axel, who has been the steadying force for them and a leader on this team in physicality all season, out here mirroring the ball early.
Polson and Fields against Havlin and Shu. An immediate miss there by Polson means Woolrich is going to have a lot of time. Meanwhile, Pierre Lawrence missed the pass across Olazaba, but Olazaba still gets there first. Doyle has slowed the ball down, gets over to Olazaba. Axel came up hard. Ball goes to Lawrence. Lawrence finishes top hoop. Boston gets on the board first, and it's still getting all the flag runner time. Polson is able to briefly push back Havlin, but then Lewis Shu, doesn't clear Bailey Fields. Exchange of dodgeballs. Alvarez might get a shot here. Nobody is beating, I believe that's Fighter. Fighter does get beat out now. Alvarez is now going to get a chance to engage. Havlin's able to make a beat. Meanwhile, it's Daniel Siam, who is into the lane, gets out to Stewart. Lawrence trying to stop Stewart. Stewart goes right around. No, he's stopping him. Oh, except the hoop can't get it to go. Loose ball now. Pass goes far to Axel. Athena Mayer has a hand of him. There's only 2 hoops up now. Darren Tracy's pass is picked off. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Peter Lawrence is trying to go. Can't see him stop him. Bailey Fields is in the right place at the right time. And Olazaba is going to slow things down, batting the ball back to Athena Mayer.
That was an insane sequence and a great play by Olazaba to keep that from being a turnover at half, as this one's nearing the half line as well.
Yeah, Athena Mayer was barely able to keep the ball on her side, and I think Doyle is going to get called for a slide there on Stewart.
Hustle play, it's getting sloppy a little bit out here in the quad ball game, but like we said, the importance of hustle, cleaning up loose balls, executing, and physicality are really showing themselves to be the decider in these individual possessions.
It's a game to 100-15. The score is currently 9-8 Austin.
Alvarez getting a lot of time.
Yeah, Havlin and Shu need to find a way back into this game. Meanwhile, the freest goal of Daniel Siam's life off of that power play. 10-8 now in favor of Austin.
Blown coverage there, down a chaser from Boston. Miscommunication and responsibility.
Havlin wins an important exchange with Fields. That is going to mean control. Eli Fighter, though, is not being allowed to get anywhere near by Polson. I think Polson's about to lock Eli Fighter down under his own hoops. Oh, Fighter, though, knocked Polson's ball way out of the way, so now Fighter's going to be able to get into the play. No, he's going to sub. Peter Lawrence, meanwhile, taking the lane, finds Doyle. Easy as it comes for this Boston line that's been so good in these flag runner pitch spots. Oh, Will Richardson dodges. No, he doesn't.
That was almost a second huge dodge from Will Richardson.
Bubble is still set up. It is going to be an opportunity here for Richardson, unless Polson can pull. Oh, Richardson was close there. Oh!
And a pull from Austin.
I don't think the flag runner ever saw it coming, and that'd be Trenton Pasquero, who might have all but pushed this series to a Game 3.
Fantastic job situationally by Austin in that situation to get there first. Great hustle. And if you're Boston, now it's time to dig deep. Yeah. Can you make the plays when it matters most? Austin, can you keep doing the things that have put you in this position to be here with a chance to win the game here in Game 2?
Shu is claiming a beat was made before. I cannot say one way or another.
There was a lot of chaos. It looked like Austin Seeker got through what we would call a bubble or a wall. But again, I couldn't tell what was happening down there. We got a great ref crew. I'm sure they'll sort it out. And if you're Boston and you're able to get out of this with a catch being called off, you got to keep executing.
The catch is good. Austin is on the doorstep of forcing a rubber match here. This series seemed to be all but Boston's until Lightning struck, and now Austin has completely turned it around.
Yeah, well done by Austin. Playing into the crowd as well. Very pro-Boston crowd here in this situation. I love Austin leaning into the bad boys role, and the way it's almost fueled them in this situation to potentially force what would be the first Game 3 between these two teams in this storied rivalry.
Not sure what the stoppage is here, but Austin's walked off the field. They definitely don't have a timeout to call. They called theirs at 20, so maybe a Boston timeout, but Boston is not coming off the field.
Boston called their timeout. It might be an Austin timeout, unless they called in the first. Oh, that's right. Austin already called their timeout as well.
Yeah. Maybe just something else delaying the game. Possible appeal here.
Yeah, an interesting situation nonetheless, as Boston now would be forced with. They were playing well in the half court, if that's what you want to call it, while the flag runner was on pitch. Obviously, that's all about to change with the dodgeballs coming back into the game. I expect Austin to be conservative, make Boston work for any goals that they're going to score, and look to run. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bailey Fields, Jackson Johnson line head back out to say, hey, let's push this game away and get on to Game 3 because we think we figured something out here. So we'll see if Boston continues with this kind of strong line, this physical line, their first line typically in a game that has dominated flag runner on pitch, or if they'll go to the more patient line that'll include Sena Morimoto, Ian Skura, Emily Hickma, Emily Frollo. But I'd expect Austin on defense to start packing it in and looking to run if they can generate a turnover via their dodgeballs.
Austin still does need 2 goals. Boston would need 6. Max Havlin tried to come back into the play to scare off Jay Stewart, but Jay Stewart's just going to run towards his beater. Very smart play there. Drew was able to get dodgeball control back, though she is now going to have to get by Bailey Fields. So it just makes a beat. Really well done there by Shu. Havlin's now going to get to press. They're now trying to actually trap. Ella Jordan's pushed into a corner by Peter Lawrence and steps out of bounds. Well done there by Boston.
Yeah, well done by Boston, and that's where we see out of the trees. That's an area where you can more safely pressure without overextending out of this defense. Austin unable to find the counter, which would be switching back in front of hoops.
Will Andrews and Aaron McCready now in for Boston.
And the crowd absolutely getting into this one, trying to will the team out of this hole.
You know, both teams are dropping into their depth here, but this game is like not nearly as over, I feel like, as the last one, though. With sloppy plays like that from Boston, it might be getting closer to being so.
Yeah, I wonder if that tells you anything about the Boston mentality right there. Athena Mayer not even chasing that ball. It skipped off of the wet pitch, right? It's not going to bounce as high coming into you. It's going to come out a little bit low with some backspin. Kind of just hit her in the knees and rolled off.
Since we resumed, it has been 9-5 Austin in the quad ball game, plus a catch. Overall, a 7-point swing to be up 4 here.
Absolute domination. There's no other word for it. They've been the better TEAM team, and what a move from Stewart. But again, unable to finish. He had some of those in the pre-Lightning portion of this game earlier.
McCready comes running down the field, takes an exchange with Cameron Ogilvy. Olazaba's in the lane. Olazaba misses, and Peter Lawrence is beat on the rebound. But again, you know, it feels like Boston's getting some opportunities here. They're going to get control off of that exchange.
And if you're Austin here, you know, just go put it away.
Yeah, I agree.
Say thank you, get to Game 3.
I feel like both teams are kind of playing chicken with the end of this game right now.
They are. They're trying to figure each other out. This is like if at the end of a boxing match, the two boxers went back to feeling each other out with jabs.
Yeah.
You know, you already got 2 knockouts. Just go for the third. 2 knockdowns, I guess.
Ball gets around here to Sanchez, looking to get by Olazaba. Will Andrews comes flying back into the play. Ogilvy tries to take an exchange, misses. It's going to be a press opportunity. It goes across to Casey Beavers. It's a really good hit there by Doyle. Boston's going to go in transition.
Well done by Doyle, even getting faked off of his feet to come down with active hands and make a tackle.
Another sloppy pass in transition with nobody around. And I feel like Boston could have 3 goals already here, and it would be a game again.
It would absolutely have been a game, and it's very interesting because Boston is a team that has struggled a little bit with their mentality when facing adversity at times this season. I wonder if that's set in at all, and what the vibes are like on the sideline as they try to dig out of this hole.
Yeah, I mean, when you're up against the multi-time defending champs, you have to take every chance you have to go for a kill, even if that chance is, an outside one down 4 goals late in the game.
And we talked about the importance at the end of game 1 of not letting it slip away when it came to morale. You wonder if Boston's up against any of that in this game. You'd think they'd have some relief.
Here, Lawrence just slips one under the hoops to Zach Doyle, who puts it through.
Ball security seems like an issue for Boston right now. I don't know if Austin sent them over a giant bucket of popcorn or something, but the Butterfingers are only going one way right now. Is Austin much better ball security?
I think Boston's starting to say, if Austin's not going to play their top lines, if they're going to give us a window back into this game, we might need to take it. Kieran Collier and Leanne Dillman are now back on the field with control.
Very interesting cat and mouse game here. Boston's still going to be conservative in that trees. Wonder if they continue to go to this, or if there is a game 3, if they switch it up and get back to a 2-2 or even a mark.
Collier may get the press here. Smart pass there to where the beater is. Collier needs to play defense here. Collier goes for the dodgeball, but Axel is pushed off by Morimoto. Collier does get beat under his hoops. That's going to do no damage. Dillman's now coming back into the play. An exciting exchange, but not much to show for it either way. Morimoto's going to step high on Axel here. Oh, it's Morimoto with nothing but green space in front of him. Puts it through. It's 13-11. When is the beater sub going to come for Austin here? It's coming right now.
Right on cue. Morimoto was careful not to knock over a hoop on that one. Of course, the vibes are very different at this point in the game. But you can see, I talked about the mentality. It looks like the Boston sideline is getting more into this one. I'm sure the Austin squad right now is looking to just cut this tension with the knife and put an end to everything.
It's Pescaro now in the game. Tries to block off a hoop. High shot by Axel. It's no good. Boston gets another possession here. Oh, Jake Stewart might have been able to get his team control. No, not quite. Well played there by Collier.
Impatient from the Austin side. If you're Axtell, you should be looking for violence.
And again, this isn't a team that is on game point. They still need 2 goals here.
No, absolutely. And we'll see if Dillman and Collier are able to get back to their, hot ways and influence a goal here to really tighten things up.
Morimoto fakes once, goes down to Lawrence.
And the goal and the attempt there is no good. I believe called beat before, as there will be a turnover back to Austin. We have Axel walking the ball up the left side while Boston sets their defense. Armed beater to his right down the middle of the hash marks here, just over midfield. Boston back in the 3 trees. Serena Morimoto at the top. Ball swings back and forth, and now it's out to Stewart on the left side. Stewart will just find safety rather than deal with the potential beat from Dillman. Some patience here as Austin looks to make a play on the hoop. Stillman clears it out behind. Stewart out to Axtell. Axtell guarded by Morimoto. Dillman and Collier looking to press. Collier loses an exchange. Dillman cleans it up. Boston will maintain control.
Oh, instead of Morimoto just pops Jay Stewart. Ball comes out. Jay Stewart's feet. Instead of Morimoto, again, nothing but green space in front, but he bobbles the ball the first time. Defense is going to come back. Pescaro is literally subbing, and instead of Morimoto cuts the lead to 1.
Wow, and what a play from Dillman. Collier as well, but Dillman just made 3 or 4 beats at the end of that. And Boston is right back in this one as it gets a little tight, and we see Jackson Johnson sub into this game alongside Bailey Fields.
Yeah, Austin has set themselves up for possible disaster and has now had to go to the top of their line, something they could have done 4 or 5 goals ago when this game was all but over.
Yeah, you could have saved everyone's legs, and instead you tried to save your top line, and now they're playing anyway.
Kite shoots high. Guard is able to save the possession, but Doyle gets to the pass. Boston has a chance to tie here.
Boston seemed tilted for a while, especially after the flag catch, but they are seeing clearly right now and executing much better on both sides right now.
Havlin and Dillman now the combo in the beer game. Kieran Collier's done a lot of running in the last 5 minutes. Not surprised that they needed a breather.
Morimoto, I think, has been a really steadying force here on this line, playing with Lawrence.
Yeah, I think if Mayer just walked a little too far into the zone there, 8 a beat. Possession goes awry there for Boston. Austin has another chance here.
First one we've seen them throw away in a little while. Good job by Austin to not let Mayer call their bluff.
So a unique pairing here. I mean, Havlin and Dillman have played together, in their careers. They've been on a lot of teams together. It's not as common. Dillman's going to chase down this deep pass to Garza, and Morimoto's trying to close on Melkite, who goes right around him. Dillman is just running all over the field. Doyle's going to step out to Sanchez here. Doyle makes a hit. Sanchez with a stiff arm.
Well done by Doyle, and worthwhile, too, because it pulls the Austin dodgeball back out.
And another shot is knocked down by Zach Doyle. We talked about how good he is around the hoops.
Doyle impacts the game in so many ways. Fantastic positioning, a really heady player, has played a ton of quad ball, and has been a mainstay on this Boston program for years, impacting the game in a big way on that possession.
Morimoto has the ball up top. Mayer's given a lot of space again. This time just gives it back to Morimoto.
A little bit of a chess game again between Mayer and Johnson, where Johnson tried to not beat her to go to the pass, and the pass went the other way from Mayer.
Floated high. The beat's going to go on Lawrence, but that means Doyle's going to get the first. There are no dodgeballs around for Austin. Morimoto does recognize it, sees the dodgeball that's coming in now, slows it down. They're going to wait for Lawrence probably to rejoin the play here.
Good patience from Boston. You got to make it worth your while. Austin playing out of trees.
Yep, and another shot into trees is knocked down. Boston needs to get back hard. Pierre Lawrence is beat out by Jackson Johnson, but I think that means Austin's going to have to slow down the brakes since both dodgeballs with Boston are back.
Yeah, and that's where Boston being able to control the pace can really kind of shift what Austin was able to be good at when they went on that run after the lightning break, which was running out of those live ball turnovers generated from their 3 trees.
Dillman's going to close in on Garza. Oh, that beat might have been early enough. No, it's not called early enough. Havlin still has the ball. Havlin's going to look to press on Sanchez, but now Jackson Johnson forces a throwback. Billy Fields is going to come into the play. All the dodgeballs are on the ground. Pass goes across. I believe that's Casey Beavers, who's able to get it all the way back up to Sammy Garza. Zach Doyle is closing out far, but Sammy Garza just steps away from him. Dodgeball still with Boston. Havlin and Dillman are putting on a clinic right now around those hoops.
And with changes of pace, too, we're seeing some really, really high-level decision-making and beater interaction here. As you mentioned, it's kind of a cross-pairing for Boston, a little fire and ice almost, and so far it's been working pretty well.
Agreed. Ball's with Kite on the far side. She gets tapped out this time by Havlin. Sanchez has it. Goes behind. I think Dillman's now going to step out on Garza. Morimoto can't get to Sanchez behind Jackson Johnson here.
Johnson just protecting an area.
Throwback. Havlin's being so patient in all of these exchanges. Now he finally gets Jackson Johnson out of the play. Now he gets to press. Then Morimoto's the only one over there. Athena Mayer's there too. An attempt by Sammy Garza. Oh, Sammy Garza ready to strip Athena Mayer. He's beat, but Sanchez gets back into the play. Oh, Sanchez, I saw it for a second. It was going to do something magical there.
But Austin was able to get control out of that exchange. A really heads-up play by Garza and a miscue on the Boston side.
Oh, but there's going to be a card now coming in against Austin. Multiple ARs seem to have a call here.
Boston had been doing such a good job on the little things. It's really been a tale of execution, as we haven't seen perfect execution all game from either side. And you're really seeing it swing with the little things, the fundamentals, as you have Boston with an I got it, you got it situation on a rebound, which leads to that and potentially gives Austin control. But either way, Garza almost generated a scoring opportunity on a dead play just because of not being able to decide who's going to pick up the ball. Really, really fascinating to see both of these teams punch, counterpunch, adjust, counter as they go through the stages of this game.
So Jackson Johnson is headed to the box, and that is the worst possible thing that could have happened to Austin in this moment. Bailey Fields has one dodgeball that she can collect back under her hoops. There is no Boston Quadball in the play next to the Luis Sanchez kick, so Haviland and Dillman are now just going to have to kind of leave the area and reset up an offense. But a beater power play, one that Boston absolutely has to take advantage of.
Yeah, and we see Steinberg subbing in on the left side. Good energy, and Dillman will take a well-deserved break after that shift for a fresh Lulu Zhu.
Max Haviland is just postered up on the medium hoop right now. Not much to be scared of when there's only one beater on the other side. They try to lead it mirror in, and so well set up by Boston the power play.
And great job by Steinberg following up on a beat before at the hoops. Well done by Austin to counter and try to avoid that hammer beat, but Steinberg did not take a break as that ball went through, just picked up and put the offensive rebound through, and we have a tie ball game here.
I had the pleasure of coaching Andrew Steinberg in college this year. That man never gives up on a play.
Never gives up on a play.
Garza tries the shot. Doyle comes flying out of nowhere with the stop. Doyle has been huge over the past 10 minutes, just knocking down every shot that comes his way. Haviland and Shu are now on the field together. Demel Kite just
took it off of Steinberg.
Oh, and Sanchez.
And now we have a play the other way.
Oh, and Steinberg tries to make a hit. We've got an injured player. I think that's Jackson Johnson.
I believe Jackson subbed off. We'll see who it is as a
I do believe it's a quad ball player.
But a fantastic play by Melkai Austin, making a lot of heads-up plays in their attacking end between possessions. If you're Boston, you're not going to get away with continuing to give a team this good extra possessions. They've been able to survive so far with some great play defensively around their hoops, some fantastic beating. I'm starting to think the Haviland-Dillman pairing was a decoy almost to bait Bailey Fields and Jackson Johnson into believing that a certain play style was going to happen, only to then have Haviland throw back 4 or 5 times in a row and play as conservatively as he can and kind of lure them out of position.
Yeah, I think the Haviland-Shu combo has almost been a little too aggressive in this series, and the Haviland-Dillman combo was kind of getting the job done here. Now there are dodgeballs on the ground everywhere. Sorry, Fields and Polson have possession. Haviland has to throw back to Shu. I don't think Sanchez is going to be able to go forward. Gets it over to Garza. Shu does get it, so Austin's just going to have to set up its offense.
But a heads-up play from Austin now to be in a tie game with the ball and with control here.
Melkite stealing that possession is absolutely huge.
Enormous.
Hoop zone again here for Boston. The tap beats are happening. Sanchez tries the shot. Sanchez gets it to go. Austin now on game point.
Austin gets control and immediately scores. That shows you just how valuable it has been for Boston while they've been trying to dig out of this hole that they put themselves in.
Right, but that goal did cost them control, so now Haviland and Shu will bring it down on offense.
We'll see if Boston's able to capitalize here. Had a long shift from Lawrence.
Yeah, a long shift from Mayer as well, and from Doyle. Lawrence has it on the wing. Taking his time, pulls in the only dodgeball for Austin. They're in a trees defense.
The crowd right here is waiting with bated breath. There is electricity here, but it's static electricity. It's a lot of potential energy going on in a
stall warning against Austin. Doyle goes high. Steinberg comes down with it. Steinberg can't get it to go. Lawrence is going to track it down. Lawrence now has to try to get by Garza. Does so without problem. Needs to be careful about that stall warning, though, that was already in this play.
And Boston has lost control. Austin setting up their true with both balls.
Mayer bringing it in. Mayer, the long throw across. The Steinberg able to stop it in front of the sidelines. He will not. Austin will have the ball with a chance to force game 3.
Austin has everything in their power and ability to go after this.
Oh, and Boston lost dodgeball control in that exchange as well.
Yep. Probably related to the stall warning as they tried to buy their time to get it back here. Boston still in the trees as they look to close out this game the way they started it here. No mix-ups right now.
Yeah, Austin's going to try to throw everything at those hoops defenders, dodgeballs, picks, whatever they can to open up one last shot for either Garza or for Sanchez. Haviland cleared the beaters, at least temporarily, now kind of getting up into the defense. Shoot, almost got into the play there. Bailey Fields is able to be just fast enough. Stall warning now called on Austin. Sanchez bringing it down. They're looking for a tap, I think, on Lawrence. Sanchez! Oh, Sanchez! The stiff arm to the face might be headed to the box. This could be a game changer.
Wow. Sanchez, a player that spends plenty of time in the gym, well-built frame.
And now here's an interesting situation because the Austin beaters are kind of out of position. If Hadley can make a beat on Fields, Steinberg might just be able to go.
Steinberg has to take this opportunity.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no question.
I think Hadley should throw at Fields though. He's looking to throw at
make a play for control.
Yeah.
If you're yeah.
Throw back. Ken Garza stops Steinberg. Steinberg gets around. Gets across to Doyle. We are in golden goal here in game 2.
How about this? You couldn't script it any better. Are we headed to the first game 3 of this series, or are we headed to the first Austin elimination before a final we've ever seen?
Oh, and that is, I think, Bailey Fields down injured.
Oh, no.
It's never something you want to see at any time, and of course not right now.
No, absolutely not. And this game has been grueling. It has been literally and emotionally long on us, the fans, both teams. In a selfish way, we're getting extra super high level quad ball out of it. But the players are clearly giving everything that they have and then some at this latest installment of this historic rivalry.
So taking stock here, it is still dodgeball control with Austin, which means they should be able to generate one more good offensive attempt here. It is next goal wins in game 2 of this series.
Does this line from Boston that has been out there for an extended period of time have one more stop and one more goal in them, or is Austin finally able to kick the door in and say, we'll see you in game 3?
Polzin and Castello bringing the dodgeballs down, and it's going to be Sammy Garza working along with Luis Sanchez like we've seen for a lot of this game up top. Max Havlin's staying away from his hoops, trying to give himself some space to operate and also kind of keep the beaters off of his hoop defenders.
See Doyle playing
point defending.
You see Doyle playing up off of that center hoop, likely trying to cut down an angle as well as be ready to shift over in the event that hammer.
Yeah, less steps to shift over if you're further from the hoop, just in the way that a goalkeeper would in soccer.
Yep.
Casey Beavers goes to the lane, and Zach Doyle says no for about the 5th time since the stitch grab catch.
It's been absolutely invaluable on that middle hoop, and Boston has a chance to push this thing over the edge in dramatic fashion
and they
here.
got control off of that. They should throw the kitchen sink at this offensive possession. They don't have to be the ones worried about going home if that results in a loss for them. They have nothing to lose.
Go big or go home if you're Boston here. If you're Austin, you have to be the most physical team. You cannot allow a second chance.
Lawrence to Steinberg. Steinberg is denied.
What a play, though. Gross. With the chips on the table, Garza with a play.
Hamilton and Shu are able to keep the dodgeball. Oh, and it's an over and back against Austin.
How about that for a kid that doesn't give up on the play, a kid that's seen so much adversity of late? Steinberg causes a turnover that could give Boston the extra possession.
We saw Mel Kites shift this game earlier by stealing extra possession. Now Steinberg does the same thing.
If you're Steinberg, go after it and rip it if you have to. Oh, Garza's on broom. Garza's on broom.
Control. They just need to step it off.
Garza's on broom. If Garza's not on broom, I stand by what I said.
Lawrence has to slow it down here. Havlin and Shu and Mayer now coming back to the play. They all got beat in the last offensive possession. It really was Steinberg all by himself forcing that turnover.
Well done. We'll see what Boston's able to cook up here as they look to pinch with Lulu, Zhu, and Max Havlin on either side of the possession.
Steinberg has a lot of space. Nobody stepped that quickly. Back out to Lawrence on the wing. To Doyle. Doyle fakes once. Fakes twice. He waits for the call. It is good. Boston comes screaming back from the dead in game 2. And they, for the first time since 2019, knock off the Austin Outlaws.
Unbelievable. And who else? Zach Doyle under the bright lights here on a Saturday night. That was one game. I'll tell you what, it felt like 3, and the strategy, the length of time, and the counter-punch way it came out, you absolutely could not ask for more from either of these teams from the series. I am absolutely hyped. Cannot believe I'm screaming into the microphone as we are set up for some great quad ball later tonight and into tomorrow.
Yeah, you mentioned Zach Doyle. I think that's a great call out, what he was doing on both ends of the ball. And I think Andrew Steinberg, what he was doing down the stretch of this game as well on both ends of the ball.
I'll tell you what, we questioned during this game the coaching decisions from both sides, and at the end of the game, Boston coaching staff, head coach Harry Greenhouse, pushed all the right buttons. They were cross-matched. They had lines that had not played together before, and I'll tell you what, turned all the right dials, pushed all the right buttons, and you had the right people in there to make plays at the end.
That's going to do it for this quarterfinal, but we've got more action to come right after this on this field. Game 2 of Kansas City, San Antonio. Those two teams looking to punch their spot in the semifinals, but the Boston Forge have already done it. They unearthed the demons. They defeat the Austin Outlaws, move on to the semifinals. Check back in for a few minutes for the next game.
Well, yummy fun with 4D gummy blocks. Amos.
Welcome back to pitch number 2. We've got game 2 of the San Antonio Soldados versus the Kansas City Stampede here at the MLQ playoffs. San Antonio leads the series 1-0. We're going to get game 2 started here pretty soon. Starting lineups for Kansas City appears to be Bitsy Archibald, Lauren Curry's out there, Ryan Mejio is on the field. I believe it looks like Riley Usami is on the field starting, Vincent Reyes. And the final chaser, can't quite tell at the moment. We'll get that final number for you shortly. As for San Antonio, it looks like Javi Tiarina and Kyle Bryant, Miguel Esparza and Luke Langlanay are starting, as well as Alyssa Villalba and Milena Sosa starting the game for the Soldados. Head referee is going to be Chris Lecomte for this game.
And yeah, Jackson, so San Antonio did win game 1 of this series. If they win again, they will advance on to the semifinals. Kansas City would need 2 wins. Final score of game 1 between these two sides was San Antonio 160, Kansas City 105. And looks like we are about ready to get underway here.
Yeah, it was a decently close game 1, made in part by the flag runner catch, of course. We'll see if this game is any closer, or if San Antonio continues to press the pace.
Thumbs up from the ARs, as well as the scores table.
There is brooms up on the move. Luke Langlanay is going to pick it up and instantly drive towards the hoop. Langlanay with the shot, not going to go.
Luke Langlanay, though, with enough speed to have a spin move at mid-pitch to pick up the quad ball. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Certainly a nice-looking move, even if it doesn't result in the goal for San Antonio early.
We'll definitely give him the style points. It's not going to go on the record books, but looks like Ryan Mejio is going to inbound this one in the backfield.
And Kansas City does have control here, so they get the quad ball ultimately, as well as this early dodgeball control.
Smith, Archibald, and Usami are the chasers available for Kansas City right now. And it's Curry, and I believe Reyes is the other beater in the game. Ryan Mejio going to give the pass to Usami. Sosa and Langlanay playing a high press here. High pass up over the head of Sosa. Mejio. Now with the ball. Gives it back to Usami. Now back to Mejio. Langlanay is there with the coverage, hovering around the keeper line. Mejio now looking to drive. There's the shot, and Mejio will open the scoring. It's going to be 1-0 to Kansas City.
Patient offense from Kansas City pays off. I think they definitely want to keep the pace of this game slow. They've had a lot of games under their belt coming out of that play-in bracket this morning, especially after that lengthy lightning delay. It could be tough to get going again, so it's good to see Kansas City off early, and San Antonio, I think, really is going to need to start pushing the pace if they want to open up a sizable lead.
Langlanay sends it to Sosa. We see De La Fuente in the game early here at beater. Langlanay, now with the quad ball. Ball goes to Jess Markle. Now it's Esparza with the quad ball. Esparza getting chased off the line. Now going to get... No, was able to deflect the dodgeball beat. One dodgeball available for Stampede by the hoops. Control did get turned over to the Soldados. Ball on the ground picked up by Langlanay. Now looking to drive around Mejio. There's the pass. Villalba going to kick this one back to Langlanay. Looking to drive here. Langlanay advancing, gets the stutter step around Mejio for the score. Pretty flourish for Langlanay, and San Antonio ties up the game.
Patient offenses from both sides. Ultimately, Luke Langlanay, a really nice athletic move there. to get the goal for San Antonio after the passing did not open up too much in the rotations that Kansas City defense.
Ryan Mejio bringing the quad ball up here. Curry trying to go steal a dodgeball away. Mejio shot top hoop. A little bit too tall over the tall hoop. San Antonio going to get the quad ball back.
Kansas City got their first goal on a shot. That shot does not fall. We've kind of seen throughout the day teams that are relying on shots really struggle to score consistently unless they're able to show that they also have some easier goals right in along the hoops.
Long pass to Esparza, who's caddy corner to Langlanais, back all the way up to Langlanais. There's a shot on the medium hoop, and Langlanais has a quick double for the Soldados.
Yeah, Langlanais there again. This time the shot falls for San Antonio right after Kansas City was not able to convert.
Looks like dodgeballs are going to get turned over here. Kansas City is going to be able to get two heading the other way.
Some big beater plays. Ultimately, it was a foot race for that third dodgeball. Kansas City was able to win.
Mejio crossing the midline. Sends the pass to Usami. De La Fuente playing really high here with San Antonio's lone dodgeball. Usami sends the pass, but Esparza is there with the coverage on Lauren Smith, and so San Antonio will look the other way.
San Antonio here with a few stops in a row. If they can score again, I think they'll really feel like they've hit a groove.
Pass over to Esparza. Back up top to Langlanais. See a stall warning come out here. Esparza looking to drive. Back to Langlanais. There's another shot. Same as the first one. It's an early hat trick for Luke Langlanais.
In the last two possessions, Luke Langlanais has just posted himself up in that exact spot. And as his teammates move the ball around, rotate the defense, he gets the pass, he puts it home. It's almost reminiscent of Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals in the NHL, really favoring that one spot to the far side, kind of right at that keeper's own line.
Yeah, and even though Kansas City's been able to keep the dodgeballs, not doing much work, Mejio, though, going to drive past the small hoop, but it's going to be broken up by Esparza.
Yeah, great read there from Esparza.
Ball's now picked up by Langlanais, trying to take this one the other way. Three defenders back. There's another shot, not going to go. Langlanais was on fire, so was hoping to get another one to fall, but not able to do so.
Yeah, tough to throw away a possession like that after a good read from Miguel Esparza gets the stop. But Langlanais' been hot. I'm not sure his teammates are going to be too upset with that attempt.
A lot of pump fakes from Chen and Ong on the other side before finally making the beat attempt. Here comes Mejio, though. No dodgeballs for Kansas City. No, the last one will be picked up now. Now it's no dodgeballs for Kansas City. They're going to have to make something happen here. Mejio gets the pass over to Archibald, who's able to find the score. 3-2. Soldados still lead. We see a fight for the dodgeballs on the near side of the pitch now. Kansas City is going to be able to get two coming out of it.
Great passing play there from Kansas City. Just like I said earlier, shots not falling early. I want to see a different look. They gave me a different look. It resulted in a goal.
Just about 6 minutes have gone. Soldados, really off the back of Luke Langlanais, have taken the lead in this game. Esparza, though, trying to get on the score sheet himself. Sends it back to Avila, who had a monster game one in this series. Tapped away by Sosa. Esparza going to pick it up. Now rushing. Big block from Lauren Smith. Kansas City is going to fall on it and get possession for the Stampede.
San Antonio had a few goals in a row there pretty quickly, most of them at the hands of Luke Langlanais, and now a few possessions not able to score. Kansas City could tie this one up, and what looked like could be San Antonio gaining momentum, starting to run away with the game. This turning into Kansas City's momentum and a chance to tie it up.
Mejio advances beyond the midline. Avila playing far outside the keeper zone right now. Pat beat by Curry, just to reset San Antonio's defense. Mejio, now looking to drive, gives it back off to Usami. De La Fuente providing the pressure. No idea Usami had, no idea that De La Fuente was there. But Mejio's going to pick that one up. Near side, and there's a goal for Lauren Smith. Tie game, 3-all. David Avila's one, going to pick this one up. Wanted to go fast. Now will continue to go fast here. Avila sends it back up top to Esparza. Long beat made. Amy Gouveia behind the hoops. There's a shot, tall hoop. Not going to go.
No good on that goal. I'm not sure why San Antonio just let it drop after that. Perhaps it was called throw after beat. But good defensive stand there from Kansas City. They now have the opportunity to take the lead. They've had a lot of success passing the ball to a player kind of posted up on one of the hoops. Miguel Esparza did get a stop on one of those passes, but they do have 2 goals that way. So we'll see if they look to do something similar to that again.
3-3 is the scoreline. Kansas City on a 2-goal run right now. Mejio gives the pass to Duncan on the near side. Duncan going to send this one back up to Robbie Wallace. Avila, though, as Wallace falls to the ground. Avila, that's a free goal. Oh, we are going to have an injury stoppage now.
I think the whistle came before the goal, but as you said, Jax, it's certainly going to result in a goal here in the future. Unfortunately, there was a huge collision over by the San Antonio side of the field as 2 players were both running for the quad ball, kind of both heads looking down, that ran into each other. So there was a big collision there, as you said. Robbie Wallace, the one player, along with, I believe, Emi Guevea.
I think it was Gouveia. Looked like just a big collision, which did cause Wallace to drop the quad ball. We do hope that Gouveia is okay.
But looking now back towards the gameplay, San Antonio, as we said, they scored quite a bit early. Luke Languine with some flashy goals. It really seemed like momentum was going their way. Kansas City, though, was able to get some stops, claw their way back, tie this one up at 3. But now they themselves have failed to score a few possessions in a row. And David Avila, sprinting up the pitch, should be able to convert here when the play goes back live to give San Antonio the lead. Although we wonder if this injury stoppage might prevent any of that momentum from really forming.
Yeah, we will see. We also see some substitutions for San Antonio. Might be just what they need. Matt Blackwood is on the pitch. Kyle Bryant is on the pitch. And now Milena Sosa will sub on for Amy Gouveia.
And she is able to get up, walk off under her own power. Great to see, and hopefully we'll see her later on in this game as well.
Yeah, so David Avila does have the quad ball right by the hoops, is going to shoot it on the tall hoop for the score. An easy goal for Avila, and it's 4-3. The Soldados retake the lead.
We'll see how the momentum goes. Both of these teams have struggled to lead by more than one. San Antonio did briefly lead 3-1 here. But other than that, it's been a 1-goal differential or a tie throughout the start of this game.
9 minutes into the match here. So just about halfway through the first 20 minutes of gameplay.
Stall warning again coming in here from Chris Compt.
So stall warning on both sides now. Mejio looking to drive off the stall warning. Sounds like it was beat before, though, so it's going to be no good on the goal.
Yeah, good aggressive drive there from Kansas City. I liked the aggression. Wallace was able to fight through contacts, but the beat does come in before for San Antonio to bail out that chaser defense.
Blackwood has the quad ball here. Javi Tiarina and Kyle Bryant are the 2 beaters in the area for Blackwood, both of them having dodgeballs. Far pass to Avila behind the hoops. Tiarina looking to make space. Avila's going to run, not going to go. Ball's picked up by Robbie Wallace. Avila still wants to fight for it, but then the ball goes to Mejio, and Kansas City will retain possession.
Did not get luck around the hoop as the ball rimmed out. Meanwhile, the tall hoop had also knocked down as there was a beater battle between two folks there down low that had prevented the top hoop from being an option there for San Antonio.
It's Mejio for Kansas City right now with the quad ball. Pass over to Robbie Wallace. Now back to Mejio. Trying to open a lane now. Mejio was unable to find the goal, and it looks like it's going to get turned over to San Antonio. David Avila with the quad ball now.
Yeah, that was no good. I'm not sure if it's Blackwood or Avila who got the hand on it. Either way, though, good zone defense there from San Antonio to get the stop.
Yeah, and good work by Kansas City to turn over dodgeballs as well. They've got 2 now in the hands of Shannon Ong and Lauren Curry. Melena Sosa with the quad ball. I believe that's another stall warning.
I believe that is the case. Lecomte really making sure these teams are focused on trying to score rather than trying to get dodgeball control back.
Blackwood makes a pass, now gets the ball back from Avila. Blackwood driving. Oh, defended well by Robbie Wallace. We do see a stoppage. So it's a yellow card against Ryan Mejio.
And the goal is good from a goaltending call there. So it's going to be a good goal, no penalty time served. 5-3 is now the score. And potentially now a little bit of momentum for San Antonio as they're up 2 for the second time this game.
Yeah, Soldados want to capitalize off of that and continue just to build on the lead that they have. Kansas City, some substitutions are coming in. McClanahan and Grothaus, the new beater pair, in. And we also see Archibald check back into the game. Smith behind hoops. It's Mejio and it's Robbie Wallace rounding out the Kansas City lineup. Mejio with the quad ball now. Pass up to Archibald. Villalba is there, playing the mark defense. Pass up, Wallace unable to get there in time. We're going to see another stoppage. Referee's going to discuss something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the discussion is early here. Looks like no call.
Ball's going to be rolled over, but it's going to be stolen away by Avila, who's trying to kick that one away. This is going to end back in the hands of the Stampede, though. Mejio has the quad ball. McClanahan trying to make space near the hoop line. Going to just throw that dodgeball back. It's none in the area for Kansas City. Able to get a floater to go, though. No dodgeballs, no problem. Stampede able to find the score.
Great goal through contact there. If you can score while the other team is pressing you with their dodgeballs, that's going to go a long way in the course of a 3-game series.
Now, San Antonio, you just let them score on no dodgeballs, and you've just turned over dodgeballs as well. It's 2 back in the hands of Kansas City.
A stalling warning again here from Chris Lecomte. Both teams really not playing at a pace that the head referee is finding acceptable.
Avila now driving, trying to end that stall. Avila trying to get his own miss, unable to do so. Kansas City going to pick it up. Mejio walking right to the sideline here.
Jackson, it really feels like every time one of the teams seems to get momentum, the other team steals it right back. It's been a game of swings.
And as you mentioned that, Mejio makes a shot on the tall hoop, making it a tie game. I mean, both these teams are very fast-paced. Kansas City certainly a chaotic team. San Antonio kind of has flashes of that sometimes, so I'm not surprised, really, that the momentum seems to be flipping back and forth a lot. It's just going to be a matter of, who wants the game more. Kansas City fighting for their lives. If they lose, they are done. San Antonio, they don't want this to go 3. They just want to go ahead and book their ticket to the semifinal. It's Langlene with the quad ball now.
Goivea back in as well. Good to see her after that injury scare earlier.
Yep, Gouveia has the quad ball. We'll send it back to Langlanay. Daniel Williams also in the game at beater. Looking to make space on the far side. Pass to the back. Villalba. It looks like the shot went through, but it might have been a turnover on a beat before call.
I don't think that was a good goal, and I think San Antonio thought it was. Although if it was beat before, I suppose it would just automatically become Stampede's ball.
Either way, goal does not count. Aaron Stout has to throw one up in the air. And Kansas City and San Antonio are pointing at each other, claiming the ball was out of bounds on one another. Looks like Herdade is going to pick that one up. A pass to nobody.
Kansas City inbound, everybody stopped, but play had not stopped.
Duncan hands the ball off to Stout. Now looking to run here. Jackson Herdade from behind the hoops. Dodges the beat attempt. Rushing through. Gets the dunk. 6-5.
6-5, that's Kansas City's first lead since being up 1-0.
Yeah, Stampede in the lead. About 5 minutes left until we hit halftime. And getting ready for flag runner on pitch. We will see who has the lead heading into there. It could be either of these teams right now, as, yeah, the momentum has flipped back and forth a couple of times.
Yeah, this game's a nail-biter, a lot closer than Game 1 was.
Esparza with the quad ball. Sends a pass to Langlanay. Grodhouse making a great beat behind. Sorry, that is Lauren Curry, rather. Making a great beat behind to find the turnover.
Yeah, Langlanay knew what he wanted to do to dodge that beat. Couldn't quite get the height on the jump, though.
Aaron Stout has the quad ball in hand. Pass to the back to Herdade. Brennan Duncan dodged the beat but loses the quad ball. He'll be picked up by Langlanay. Not going to let anyone stop him. There's another score. Langlanay gets another on the board. That's his fourth of the game to tie it at 6 and end the scoring drought for San Antonio.
Yeah, 6-6. I think that's what San Antonio wanted out of Luke Langlanay when they subbed him back into this game. Be the spark plug, be the energy guy on the team. There was a long weather delay. There was a long time between games 1 and game 2, and both of these teams looking a little bit lethargic. I think it's the team that has a little bit more of those spark plays that are going to be able to ultimately gain the momentum they need to win this one.
Stout with the quad ball now. Taking a shot, doesn't go. Goes off the bottom side of the top hoop. So KC throws a possession away. We see Daniel Williams appealing for a third dodgeball call in the midfield. Esparza looking to run here. Gets the pass to the back to Luke Langlanay. Now going to drive and gets it through the small hoop. 5th goal of the game for Langlanay now. Having himself a great game. And it's 7-6 as San Antonio gets the lead right back.
And Langlanay nearly carries the hoop to mid-pitch. If you weren't sure if a shot went in, that's one thing. You are positive that ball went through the hoop as Langlanay put his whole body through. Great athletic play there. Also credit to Daniel Williams, who cleared the lane for the Esparza drive. That drew all the attention, which ultimately got the pass over to Langlanay.
Stout gets a pass out, but it's going to rocket off. It might have gone off the bottom side of the base.
It looks like an out-of-bounds call inbound to San Antonio.
And Esparza wants to move quickly here. Taking it all the way from the out-of-bounds spot all the way for the score. That is, I mean, literally the farthest distance you can run. From the inbound, stretching the definition of coast to coast there, Esparza gets the goal.
Miguel Esparza looked up, saw open space, and took it. This is the sort of speed I was expecting out of San Antonio at the start of the game. This is what they need to do. It is their second game of the day. It is Kansas City's 6th. Just run on this team. You have more energy than they do.
San Antonio back in the lead by 2 now. Herdade gets the pass out to Archibald, tipped away by Langlanay. But Stout's going to get it back now to Herdade. See 2 dodgeballs in the backfield by Kansas City's hoops, so they're not in the play right now. Herdade going to get tackled up top. Stout not able to get it. Emi Gouveia saves that from going out of bounds. And it'll be San Antonio with the quad ball.
And just like that, I mentioned earlier, it seems like teams were gaining momentum and then losing it again. Kansas City ties the game up, takes the lead 6-5, and since then, it's been all San Antonio on a 3-0 run and a chance to make it a 4-0 run to go up 3.
Esparza drying off the quad ball now. Daniel Williams and Jess Markle, the beaters in the game for San Antonio. But Esparza going to pass to Avila. Now back to Esparza. Going to run it to the other side of the hoops. Esparza's going to slip, but regains his footing, and that'll be taken away by Stout out of the air.
Yeah, not the best look there from San Antonio. They got a no dodgeball look. Ultimately, though, Esparza just ran left, ran right, never really looked for a teammate to pass to or tried to dunk with authority, and that's ultimately what cost them that possession.
I believe I heard a 20 minutes being called, so it sounds like this is going to be the last possession of the first half. Usami trying to get around Emi Gouveia. Jackson Herdade with the quad ball now. Gives it back to Usami. Kansas City taking their time here. Usami back to Herdade now.
Looks like a stall warning as well from Lecomte.
There's another stall being called by Lecomte. Herdade and Usami keep passing back and forth. Now Herdade driving, gets the pass out to Archibald, and there's the score. And should be the end of the half, I believe.
Yeah, so as the ball becomes live in the hands of the keeper, that is going to be 20 minutes. Great offensive possession there from Kansas City. They really took their time and made sure that they had a good look to score. They trail now by just 1. Scores 8-7, so the set score here will be 14.
Yeah, it's a really tight game. This may come down to seeker play in this game to decide who takes game 2. I think the momentum is with San Antonio right now. I say that. It has gone back and forth so many times, too many times to count, feels like, in this game, that we might be saying San Antonio has momentum coming out of the break, but Kansas City could easily take it right back.
And as you say that, Kansas City is the team that caught the flag runner in game 1. They are the team that knows that they could do it at this tournament. Doing it again would obviously give them the lead. I think really a catch here, while giving a team the advantage, isn't really the final nail in the coffin that we sometimes talk about. You know, if you're up 3, up 4, and then you catch, it really is very hard to surmount that. Up 1 and you catch, it's tough to come back for, but we've seen it happen. We saw Boston do it on this pitch in the last game against the Austin Outlaws. So definitely the flag runner is going to be a big momentum swing, but is not necessarily going to end the game here for either team if it's caught early. San Antonio, I think, also may benefit here with a lot of open field to run with. We saw Avila in game 1. We're seeing Esparza and Langlanay here in game 2. All 3 of those players have looked really comfortable in open space, driving, using speed, something that's a lot easier to do if the dodgeballs aren't around. And while we definitely know Riley Usami, Ryan Mejio, Robbie Wallace, those players are also comfortable for Kansas City through contact and with speed. We just quite hadn't seen it as much in this series. Maybe it's the fact that it's really late in the day for them. They started playing early this morning, but I think a speed-based game here is going to favor San Antonio.
Yeah, it feels like something that Kansas City has the ability to do, but it's more something that San Antonio leans on, and we're really seeing that so far. You had the hockey analogy early. I would compare San Antonio's style to more of a 7 seconds or less kind of NBA style of offense. They really like to turn on the jets and just play quickly.
Some big subs here coming out of San Antonio. 3 players immediately sub off the pitch.
Yeah, it looks like Blackwood comes back on. I believe Alyssa Villalba steps back on the pitch. See Jess Markle still in. Emi Gouveia is in the game. Gouveia is going to send the pass back to Blackwood. Daniel Williams also in the game now. Blackwood driving around the backside of the hoop. Shot on the tall hoop. It's going to go 90-70. And Trevor Smith is the seeker for San Antonio. The other one is J.D. Hopton, who's already had, I want to say, 3 or 4 catches at this tournament for Kansas City.
Smith got a lot of time there against Matt Cooper, the flag runner, but nothing to show for it so far.
Kansas City. Usami has the ball on the far side of the pitch. Now gives it to Mejio. Mejio driving near the hoop line. Back to Usami. There's the goal. Hopton had a swipe. Nearly able to pull, but wasn't able to do so just yet. Oh, and the flag runner just throwing J.D. Hopton to the ground there. But Blackwood driving on the far end of the field. Trying to get around Mejio, but Mejio's going to be able to strip the ball free. Mejio, just a physical effort there. Kansas City going to look to go the other way. Long pass to Usami. Trying to get around Gouveia, but Blackwood is there in the area. Usami's going to have to wait for his team now. No, Usami's looking about driving it himself. Shot off the back foot. It'll go in the hands of David Avila, the keeper for San Antonio.
Hopton, lots of time on Cooper, but also nothing to show for it. Cooper here is a very emotive flag runner and is looking very confident so far early on in this matchup.
Yeah, now Trevor Smith is going to get some time with the flag runner. Meanwhile, David Avila running quickly into Kansas City's defense and will be able to find the goal. San Antonio is the first to hit triple digits. It's 100-80. Set scores 140.
This is where the catch might be the backbreaker for San Antonio. They catch the flag, they'll only need one more goal to win. And there it is. Trevor Smith engaged on the flag runner, bounced back and engaged again, all in one motion. I'm not sure Cooper was expecting that. It looked like there were certainly no dodgeballs in the vicinity. Didn't look like the shorts moved. So it's not a guarantee of a clean catch, but certainly it checks those 2 boxes.
By Trevor Smith's body language, he knows it's good. He's already taken on his headband. He's running off the pitch. His broom's already down. He is confident.
And he has the right to be.
The catch is, in fact, good. So just as you were saying, that reality, well, that becomes reality now, as San Antonio is only 1 goal away from winning the game and sweeping the series against Kansas City. It's 135-80. Next goal wins for San Antonio, but you're going to need 6 if you are Stampede.
6 starts with 1. Kansas City really need to make sure they convert on this possession.
Driving is Mejio. Emi Gouveia able to get a block, though. Oh, no, it's actually going to go into the hoop. I thought it might have been blocked, but it was actually deflected into the hoop. So there's 1 goal to start the run, but now San Antonio getting their first look at winning this series. It's Blackwood with the quad ball. Blackwood driving, gets it to Avila, who has to hit it back to Blackwood up top. Now it's picked up by Villalba.
San Antonio going to push the limits Chris Lecomte lets them as the delay of game comes in, but they want to make sure they have the full contingent of quad ball players as they run this offense.
Yeah, Villalba stalls enough to get Avila back in the play, but it's going to go to Blackwood, who's going to shoot on the small hoop, and that's a goal. Going to make sure there's no other calls on the play. There is not. San Antonio wins the game and wins the series. They will face the New York Titans in the semifinals tomorrow.
145-90 is the final score. I think ultimately what it came down to is that Kansas City had to have a massive bracket run this morning. Their legs were tired. They had to sit out the rain delay. And when it came down to it, San Antonio was able to find that energy, and Kansas City just ran out.
Yeah, congratulations to both teams. We will see San Antonio tomorrow.
This is the last game here on pitch 2, so head over to pitch 1. The stream here will be ending.
Welcome 放你说一个